So Easter eggs in video games is actually so much fun because you're so intense and in the game, and you find a little secret in there that the game developers gave you, and you're like, oh, I see what you did there. See, now when you look at Easter, like the greatest thing growing up was like finding an egg like 6 months later, it's filled with like dollar bills. You're like, yes, I win the holidays. Well, that's exactly what happened in Arkham Asylum, where they put an Easter egg in there that in like the mayor's office, you can actually blow up this door and you can go into the secret office where they had a map of Arkham City. And it was supposed to tell you, hey, this is what's coming up in the sequel, but nobody ever found that particular Easter egg. Like the developers had to leak it themselves, like almost a year after the game came out. It's like, hey guys, you know how Arkham City's coming out? You're really excited? Well, hey, guess what, dumbasses? We already told you about it back in the game. So that was kind of nifty, and just the fact that nobody found it was the real winner there. So good job, Rocksteady. Loved it. Keep doing it again.
Favorite Easter eggs? How about the Tauren Marine from Starcraft 2? It started out as a joke they released on like April Fool's Day, where in Starcraft 2 they were going to be like Tauren Marines, and of course it wasn't a real unit. But on one of the maps, and I forget which one it was, if you explored the entire map and went into all the little places hidden by the fog, you would find a Tauren Marine, and he was just hanging out, and then you'd spot him, and he'd jump in a magic like porta potty and just like shoot away. It was awesome. It was a very cool Easter egg, and I enjoyed it.
So I think the company that comes to mind when you think about the best Easter eggs has got to be id Software. They make some of the best Easter eggs over the course of all of their games, and it kind of came to a head in Rage, which was one of their most recent ones. It might have been their most recent one, I think, actually. So in Rage, there were 3 secret rooms, and in each of these rooms was one of their old games, and you could kind of explore the level, and there weren't really any bad guys to kill in most of them, but you could go into Wolfenstein, you could go into Doom, you could go into Quake and experience these old games. There's kind of fun little things you can find throughout the game, and there's always some sort of challenge that you'd have to do to get there, like activating radios or computers in different orders or whatever, and then opening up a secret door. But they're the kind of the kings of making those references to their older work. The dope fish is real, guys. He really is.
So one of my favorite web shows of all time was Red vs. Blue by the Rooster Teeth people. Just absolutely brilliant and hilarious. God, I love Donut. And like it was so popular that even Bungie started like incorporating their Rooster Teeth stuff like in their games. For example, in Halo 3's the stage Crow's Nest, you actually could go around like a different route, and you can find this Marine like knocking on a door trying to get into like this base for ammo, and there's this funny dialogue that goes on between 2 people. Now they actually got the guys from Rooster Teeth to do the voiceovers for these 2 characters talking back and forth, and so there's on easy and normal you have like 1 set of dialogue. Then on your like medium difficulty, then your insanity difficulty, however those equivalent into Halo 3 difficulty rankings. Anyways, so it was like all of the cast was doing their own dialogue, and it was so funny. And Donuts on Legendary, I highly recommend not only the web series, but finding this Easter egg, because like I said 2,000 times, it's hilarious. Good job, guys. Good job for doing something in the web world that got so popular that actually made it into the video game. You're my hero.
How about another Blizzard game? I know I already did a Blizzard game, but I don't know, Blizzard's good at Easter eggs, I guess. There is no Cow Level and Whimsyshire. Now, I think Whimsyshire is my favorite of the 2. Killing cows, fun, yes, evil cows in Diablo 2, fun, but then in Diablo 3, Whimsyshire, you get to kill unicorns and magic teddy bears, and just all the happy things from kids' childhoods. It was awesome. And they would explode into blood. It was really cool, and you really felt like you were like in a little kid's dream and just ruining it and giving him nightmares. It was great. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
And then probably my favorite franchise ever, Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal has some great Easter eggs in it. Obviously the one everyone knows, you blow up the Eiffel Tower and then you can get up onto the roofs in the Paris level. That's pretty standard. One of my favorite ones was in Twisted Metal Black, the way that you actually unlocked Axel in that game. So in the very first level of Twisted Metal, you'd notice as you're kind of going around the level that there's an airliner, like a 747 flying around the level. Well, if you were to aim up and shoot at the airliner, it would actually crash. And at first you were like, okay, I shot down the airliner, that's kind of cool. But upon further inspection, if you were to go around down into the pit area, there was the plane, and it had crashed on the ground and opened up a tunnel into a lower area where you could pick up this little token that would unlock Axel. It was for me, it was amazing because when I first got that game, I was like, oh, this game is so good, but where the f is Axel? And it was really cool Easter egg to find.
One of my favorite Easter eggs, I actually didn't know it was an Easter egg until much after I was done with it, was I remember getting Left 4 Dead 2 at midnight with my friends, brought it back, we were all playing, having a good time, and we're doing the Dead Carnival or the Death Carnival, whatever the carnival stage was, and there was a shooting range, and we're all kind of drawn to it. We start playing it, we're shooting it, get the high score. All of a sudden this little box opens, there's a little garden gnome. We're like, ah. And one of the guys is like, I'm taking it. And he actually takes it to the very end of the stage. And then we got a little achievement for having Gnome Chomsky to the end. Then we find out afterwards that, well, that's the same gnome that was in Valve's Half-Life 2 Episode 2. And which the same thing kind of happened where you had the gnome and you brought him somewhere and you got an achievement for it. So that was kind of nifty that they had the same gnome again. It was just so fluid. Like you saw the little shooting gallery and you're like, I'm gonna do this. Then you had like a little prize. You're like, I'm gonna take this prize to the end. And then you realize, oh, it's an achievement. It was just, good job, Valve. You guys are just great at everything.
How about the giant chicken from Gears of War 3? You have to run around and shoot into those pipes, and then after you shot in 4 pipes, this little chicken pops out, and you're like, oh, that's cute. That's a little chicken. And what do when you see a cute little chicken running around? Of course, you shoot it, and if you shoot it a couple times without killing it, you can't kill it right away, but if you shoot it a couple times, it gets pissed off and turns into a giant lambent chicken. It's like all golden shit and it fires flames at you. And you're like, I probably shouldn't have shot that cute little chicken. And then you have to fight the giant lambent chicken and it shoots flames out of its mouth. It's awesome. A very cool Easter egg. I like that one a lot. I'm looking forward to the new Gears game so I can see what Easter eggs they throw in that one.
And then another classic one that I loved growing up as a little kid playing NBA Jam was all the secret characters you could unlock in NBA Jam. My favorite probably had to be Bill Clinton, but basically what you did was you just type in a code where you type in your initials normally during the sort of like arcadey intro where you would just type in your initials in case you got a high score or something. If you typed in specific initials, you could unlock Bill Clinton, all the members of the Beastie Boys, and then I think that there were like all the game developers too, which like I didn't really know who they were at the time. I was just like, yeah, whatever. I mainly just like to just dunk as Bill Clinton, just like go up and do the 360 dunks and stuff. But yeah, NBA Jam was killing it on the Easter egg front.
So yeah, in a nutshell, we pay a lot of attention to like little nonsensical things in video games to find Easter eggs. Yeah, come on, that's why we're single. That's why we're doing the show.